Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so today we're going to be dissecting a song by Tool called Vicarious. Now, let me be completely honest right off the bat. Vicarious, I always felt, was an extremely straightforward song compared to a lot of the other Tool songs. That's relative, though, because, Tool, they're lyrically complex even with their simple songs. So, and musically the song is not simple at all, and the message is really good as well. So, you've got all of that. So, yeah, this is a really good song, and I think that everyone should hear this song. I kind of feel that way about all Tool songs, but I really think that if you have not heard the song before, check it out. It's in the description. I don't know how you would have found my video if you hadn't heard the song before, but whatever. So let me try to pull up display capture. There we go. Okay, so first off, like I said, this song seems to be fairly straightforward. It's off their, I think it's their fourth album, their fourth normal, not EP. So yeah, and it's called 10,000 Days. Yeah, 10,000 Days had a lot of very lyrically complex songs. I believe this was a single off it. They made a video for it. And Vicarious is a pretty dark, sadistic... It's sarcastically humorous, I think, as well. Or at least when I hear it. I'm hoping that I learned something, though, from us, diving into them. So let's just get right into it. We've got Eye on the TV. Very quick, blunt, to the point. You're watching the television, and it's a theme throughout the entire song. So, Eye on the TV. And in this case, for me, the television set would mean any form of media, really. Any form of entertainment. Because you know how entertainment right now is extremely violent. So, it says, Eye on the TV because tragedy thrills me. Okay, now think about that for a second. Almost look at the entirety of my channel, right? It's Call of Cthulhu and role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, mostly, And we've got Tool. Tool is a pretty dark band, right? And I don't know if this isn't true for everyone, obviously. Like there are people who think differently than I do. Obviously, most people do. But I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone has a darker side, right? And so tragedies just is something, there is something thrilling about tragedy. Tragedy is horrible, terrible, right? You never want it to happen, but it's a sense of uprooting. And then there's also some type of thrill, so to speak, at least according to the song, that is derived from watching others. And now, you know what? Let's look up, what does vicarious mean? Let's see. Vicarious. Lyrics, no. Here it is. Okay. Vicarious. It means experience in the imagination through the feelings or actions of another person. Acting or done for another. Okay. So let's think about this. Vicarious. Experience in the imagination. It's a very, 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 very blunt meaning right there. Through the feelings or actions of something else, of this other entity. What you're watching on the television, right? These crime shows Star Wars, pretty much anything ever made. Every single Disney movie. Haven't you noticed it's a trend with Disney movies? They always kill the parents. The parents are always dead at the beginning, right? Or they end up dying. It's something that happens in maybe it's specifically Pixar, but there's something fascinating about death in general to most people. I'm not speaking for everyone, obviously. But then we get to that right here. He says, "Eye on the TV because tragedy thrills me in whatever flavor it happens to be." So this is where it gets kind of sadistically. I think he's trying to be sarcastically funny here, and also making a point. Right, satire is one of the most powerful forms of comedy. In fact, most comedies fueled by rage. I've noticed. Like, if you take a look at any situational comedy, it's someone making fun of a situation that they themselves hate. If you take a look at any comedy, really, in general, and this is a little bit off topic, but any comedy is kind of just, you need to choose what you're angry at, then you can make fun of it. So anyway, whatever flavor it happens to be. So he's comparing it to, like, fine wine or something like that, the different types. Killed by the husband. Drowned by the ocean. Shot by his own son. She used a poison in his tea, then kissed him goodbye. And you'll notice how it gets progressively more vivid, more specific. It's like, killed by the husband was the gateway drug. Oh, something that happens in a lot of things. Then it's drowned by the ocean. Shot by his own son. It gets worse. So we went from killed by the husband, and for some reason there is something worse in the thought of a child killing someone. Obviously, killed by the husband's horrible. And saying killed by the husband kind of implies it was the wife who was killed. Drowned by the ocean. Drowned by something incomprehensible and something uncaring. And that's a theme throughout this song, actually, is something of the uncaring universe. Shot by his own son. Now we've put children into it. Maybe. Whoops. Get out of here. I apologize for that. Okay. She used a poison in his tea, then kissed him goodbye. Now, the first three, super vague. Then finally he's like, you know what? What if, like, she uses a poison in his tea? That's specific too. Then kissed him goodbye. That changes it to be bittersweet, a little bit romantic, right? Or gothic romantic. That's my kind of story. It's no fun till someone dies. So this is the beginning. He's kind of putting his opinion out there. I watch the television because I'm thrilled by tragedy. And it's no fun till someone's dead. And I like all these different flavors. There are different types of the fine foods and rich substances and, yada, yada, yada. It's my kind of story. It's no fun till someone dies. Now he's going to justify it. And then he's going to point his finger at everybody else. So he already said, look at me. I do this. And then he's like, don't look at me like I'm a monster. Frown out your one face, but with the other. Now, that line is kind of, that is a difficult line. Frown out your one face, but with the other. Now, that implies two-faced or hypocritical to me. And so, again, he's talking, so he started himself. And I don't know if this is Maynard specifically or whoever's writing the song, because you know me, I'm dissecting the songs from my point of view. There are different songs that Maynard said is about one thing, and I'm like, to me, it's about something totally different. And they've said before, people will interpret it however they want to interpret it. And so my interpretation is exactly what I think this song is about. And a lot of times I want it to be the most wide interpretation it can possibly be. So if I ever do like Wings for Marie, right? Even though that song is very specifically about his mother, I'll try to find a way to relate it to a wider audience than just a personal thing for him, but also how you can relate it to the loss of any or a specific type of loved one or any loved one, right? And obviously there are specifics that are involved, but you can still make the song more relatable, and that's just something that I do. So I don't know if this is him at the beginning. For me, it's whoever's singing the song at the beginning is saying, I love tragedy. And then he's like, don't look at me like I'm a monster, you two-faced SOB, right? You are gonna judge me now? Frown out your one face, but with the other. So that kind of implies that two faces. One's watching the TV just like I am. One is also just as engaged in the violence and the depravity, right? Whatever. The other is frowning at me and judging me. And now he's talking to them. He's saying, look at what you're doing. You stare like a junkie like you're addicted to it, into the TV. You stare like a zombie. Now you are a shell of your former self. And now we're going to get another, and now it gets even more descriptive, right? So before we had 2 lines, now it's going to be 3. Stare like a zombie while the mother holds her child, watches him die, hands to the sky crying, why, oh, why? And then you get the chorus, which is kind of completely encapsulated by the title of the song. 'Cause I need to watch things die from a distance. Vicariously I live while the whole world dies. You all need it too, don't lie. So let's look at this. So first off, we've got the last description was far more descriptive than anything else was. And another theme that I notice right here, hands to the sky crying why oh why. Now, I am myself a Christian, but I know that Tool is I don't think that they are against religion. I think they're more against organized religion and group thinking. They're very individual. They promote individualism, and they do not really like specific, I think Maynard doesn't like the Catholic Church, or something along those lines, because of what went down with his mother. So when I read this, especially you'll see what I mean as we go further into the song, in context of the rest of the song, and this again goes into what I said about drowned by the ocean, an uncaring force of the universe. Hands to the sky crying why oh why is kind of him showcasing the helplessness and the futility of crying out to God according to his point of view. That's what I think he means by it. Now, to me, I mean, that's what that's trying to say to me. I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's what it's trying to say to me. So then it gets to the chorus, and he says, "'Cause I need to watch things die." And he's being completely honest here. I need to watch things die from a distance. I'm going to live vicariously through you, through that person in the TV, through that person in the video game, through that person in the violent anything. Vicariously I will live while the whole world dies. I'm watching Thanos snap his fingers. Half the population of the entire galaxy is decimated, annihilated, destroyed. Get out of here, you stupid notifications. Okay, so you all need it too, don't lie. Again, that's something that he does often. And this is kind of something that a lot of people who do something, not necessarily wrong, but something that feels uncomfortable. There are 2 different types of, maybe not 2 different types. There are a few different types. But let's contrast the 2 that I think of normally. Is the people who have this vice or whatnot and they hide it. Then there's the people who have this vice and they don't hide it, but they still feel the need to justify it. And that might not always be true, but in a lot of cases it is. And in this case, it seems like he's being open about his vice of needing to live off of watching other people die, which gives him the excitement that he's craving or whatnot. by justifying it by saying, everyone else, you all need it too. Don't lie. And that makes sense because look at our society today. And you think about how the human mind works and how everything is like, it's all chemicals. And it's pretty weird how a lot of things that feel a certain way are able to be explained scientifically and whatnot. So do humans need some type of excitement or violence, or else they get uncurably bored or feeling like there is nothing here? And are people getting this rush, this high, so to speak, from watching people kill each other on TV? And then you also have to think, if that's true, isn't that better than people actually going to war and killing each other? The outlet, or, whatever. But it's still not necessarily a good thing. Let's continue. Why can't we just admit it? Why can't we just admit it? We won't give pause until the blood is flowing. And that also is interesting, how, again, it's kind of this... You've got this... Again, this conscience, right? His conscience is talking to him. We will not give pause until the blood is flowing. When it does, though, then we feel the sense of guilt a little bit, right? Why am I feeling excited by watching the mother hold her dead child to the sky, crying, why, oh, why? Right? Then we pause, and then we think. And that's another thing. It seems to me, and this is me specifically, I don't know about other people, but I like things that make me feel intelligent, right? And I feel like most people probably do, I don't know. Tool music, dissecting Tool music, helps me understand it more, and when I understand what these genius people were trying to say through this creative expression, I feel like I've cracked a code or something, and it's a good feeling. So, it's just interesting how we won't give pause until the blood is flowing. So that's when you stop and you think about it. Yeah, I mean, that's when you stop and you think. That's when it forces you to think about your own mortality. So then you've got neither the brave nor bold, nor brightest of stories told. I thought he said writers of stories told. That's interesting. I believe I got these lyrics off of, I don't remember where I got the lyrics. I got the lyrics off a site. Maybe next time I'll source the site, although the site does not own the lyrics. Whatever. We're going to go with what it says here. Nor brightest of stories told. And that works. So right here, he's, again, putting more context into the pause. We're not going to give pause until the blood is flowing, right? So now he's saying, neither the brave nor bold, nor writers of stories told, or nor brightest of stories told. So by saying that, it seems to me like he's putting context into what he's going over. He's saying, we don't care about the brave. We don't care about the bold. We don't care about the happy. We don't care about the bright. We won't give pause until the blood is flowing, right? And again, it's all very sarcastic, and it's kind of judgmental, but it's definitely getting its point across. It's judgmental of evil, right? Or sadism, and which is, disgusting. We won't give pause until the blood is flowing. And then you got the lyrics, the chorus again. I need to watch things die from a good safe distance. So now he's changed it a little bit. So before he said from a distance. Now he's elaborating more. He says from a good safe distance. I'm going to feel safe. I'm going to feel like I'm in a controlled environment while I watch these people die. Vicariously I live while the whole world dies. You all feel the same, so why can't we just admit it? And I believe he says, why can't we just admit it over and over again there? I don't remember, though. And then this awesome bridge. This is my favorite part of the song. So good. So then he says, blood like rain come down. And suddenly, to me, the song changes a little bit, and it becomes more of a warrior's cry, right? So this whole time he's been kind of sarcastic and saying, we're staring like a zombie into the TV. He's been kind of relating this feeling of vicariously living from the point of view of the person sitting in front of the TV. Now he's doing it from the point of view of the mind, of the imagination thriving off of watching someone else, off the imagination putting their thoughts, putting themselves in that position. And now there's a sense of power. There's a difference. The lyrics become poetic, or more so poetic, and more romanticizing it. And we're calling ourselves the vampire, the warrior, right? So now he says, blood like rain come down. I call you forth. I'm powerful. I'm standing on top of a hilltop. I have a staff. I'm a wizard or a warrior. And thunder and lightning and wind is rushing in my hair. It's physical sense of power. It's blood like rain comes down and drums on the grave and ground, right? You look around and you see the graves, the dirt people are dying on, and you're fighting, right? Part vampire. So a vampire sucks blood, right? Part warrior. So you're half sucking out of someone, part warrior. And again, this is more of from the point of view of the person who's justifying it. Or this is kind of the depiction of the up side of this. Carnivore and voyeur. Now, I know I looked this up already, but I cannot seem to remember exactly what it means. So let's look up voyeur. Let me find it again. Bear with me. VOYEUR. Voyeuristic? Yeah, just voyeur. Oh, apparently it's a Netflix show. Voyeur, a person who... Oh, my. Well. Let's skip that. It might mean that, but let's continue. A person who enjoys seeing the pain or distress of others. That is more likely the actual definition of it. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, this is... Okay. That's happened now twice when I go to look up something as, oh, this is an erotic film. Okay, whatever. Okay, so voyeur would be someone... Both of those examples that we just saw, the sexual one and the sadistic one, are both kind of the same. And it is someone who derives any form of pleasure from watching the other thing happening. So the word voyeur, I guess, would mean a watcher. Someone who's sitting back and watching. Who's taking it in. Who's looking. Right? Just seeing what's going on. And somehow putting themselves in the position without actually having to endanger themselves. Stare at the transmittal. Right there. Transmittal would be the television again. Sing to the death rattle. And then it goes into a breakdown where he just goes la 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 la. Every time I'm reminded of so many different things. There's a song by Serge Tankian, A System of a Down. What is the song called? It might be... Can't remember the name of the song, but it's like he goes lie, 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 lie. Then there's The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel. So there's a lot of lie, 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 lie. There's so many different forms of this very interesting lie, la, 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 lie thing. And I wonder if the word lie is intentional there. And I'm going to assume it is, and I'm going to interpret it as the people who are being hypocrites about it. And they're judging the other people who are doing it, but in secret they are doing it themselves. The two-faced, frown out your one face, but with the other, right? And they're lying. Lie, 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 lie. And then this is, in my opinion, this is all part of the same breakdown. I know it really isn't, but it's so cool. This song's epic. Okay, he says, credulous at best, I feel like that's incorrect too. Credulous? Is that even a word? I thought it was incredulous, which means unbelievable or very highly unlikely. I'm going to keep it at that because credulous at best means that I would assume the opposite of incredulous. Whatever. I'm going to continue with credulous at best, your desire to believe in angels in the hearts of men. So you think that everyone is perfect? They're not. Pull your head out of your hippie haze. All you people, so the hippies, the people who say, all we are saying is give peace a chance. Maynard is basically saying, there will never be world peace. The person singing the song is saying, people will live vicariously. People will always have these violent thoughts. There's almost no way to get rid of them. It's part of being, and again, I am a Christian, so I believe that we are all born in sin, right? And need to be redeemed. And even when you are redeemed, you're still grounded, or maybe not grounded, but have temptation of sin, which continues, always. It will not stop until your soul is forcibly removed from your body. And then it's the separation of flesh from spirit. But the flesh is here while we're living, and it is the sin, right? Or at least that's my Christian perspective. From a more all-encompassing perspective, the wrong, the evil, the bad, right? So pull your head out of your hippie haze and give a listen. I shouldn't have to say this all again. And that's again harkens back to Sweat or any other kind of life is a circle or history repeats itself type of thing. Is he's saying, you should all know this already. I shouldn't have to say it all again. The universe is hostile. This is where I find a lot of this song referencing itself a lot here. The universe is hostile, so impersonal. Devour to survive. That's the mantra. That is the modus operandi, That is how almost everything works. You devour to live. Like, there are people, and this is all my subjective opinion. Bear that in mind. So there are people who are, vegetarian, right? People who say that they will not partake in eating of the flesh of living creatures. But they eat plants. And plants are technically living creatures too. We devour other living things to survive. We can't nourish ourselves through rock or dirt. You need sustenance, and sustenance is gained from devouring the life force of other creatures or plants or any living thing. Devour to survive, so it is, so it's always been. And this actually works very well with my entire channel's Call of Cthulhu stuff, cosmic horror. The universe is hostile, so impersonal, right? Let's continue. And this is nearly the end. And he says, we all feed on tragedy. Now he's encompassing everyone together. We all feed on tragedy. It's like blood to the vampire. Remember, we're part vampire, part warrior, carnivore, and voyeur. Vicariously, and remember, carnivore would be like cannibalistic, maybe not cannibalistic, but at least a meat eater. Vicariously, I live while the whole world dies. And then this last dark line, much better you than I. And that again kind of shows the kind of the meaning of where this thought process of I derive pleasure from watching other people die comes from. Was this devour to survive? You're dead, I'm alive. I am powerful. I'm still here. And yeah, it's a pretty dark song. A lot of Tool songs are dark, though. Very enlightening song, too. So, yes. Tool, Vicarious, off their fourth album, 10,000 Days. I think it's the first song off the album, I think. And it's a really good song. I really enjoy it. It definitely has some dark messages, but it's also supposed to be eye-opening. It's trying to show you how the way you're thinking maybe needs to be changed or fixed or whatnot. This video went on for a while. I apologize for that. If you're new here, please like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more tool dissections and what have you. And thank you very much for watching all this if you have survived to the end. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to I need you to die now. Because, yeah, much better than you than I. See you all next time. Also, we're going live again, I believe, next week at the same time for part 2 of Refractions of Glaston. So stay tuned for that as well. And, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Deathstroke 9, out.